The hell's going on? Flynn pulls over. The distinct, smoky smell of burnt mesquite pods wafts through the air.
Mesquite smells really good.
It's actually kind of pleasant. I have no idea what mesquite sounds like. I think we talked about this last time, though, where it sounds too much like mosquito, so I'm biased against this concept inherently.
It's like smoky wood.
It's a bad start.
Smoky forest smell.
Flynn takes out his cell phone, stepping out of the truck and hustling his way over to the source of the smoke. Jenna and I exchange a quick look before following in his wake. The aroma grows stronger as we round the abandoned trailer and make our way to an outcropping overlooking the rest of the area. There's even a slight apple-like smell mixed in. As we round the bend, I can see a few lawn chairs spread about a crackling bonfire. Some of the chairs have faded princess print designs, while others are of the more traditional camping variety. Next to them is a fluorescent orange cooler and a portable grill-looking thing that kind of looks like a toaster oven. Don't think they got a permit for this.
Yeah, Flynn would know because he's like in charge of all that shit. Oh, hi.
Is Heather the drunk girl that got TJ attacked in the flashback?
I think so. So I'm voicing her like a dumb bitch. Because, you know.
It's like, I'm trying to remember I'm trying to remember, like, these names from so long ago. But yeah, like, Route 65, the drunk party where TJ gets just attacked and he was crying and then fucking Chase gets knocked out.
TJ's crying in his little ghost costume.
Yeah, I think it was all Heather's fault.
Oh my gosh. Like, Heather just seems like one of those.
The high-pitched voice comes from behind, and next thing we know, there's a feline bounding up towards us. I see Jenna recoil some, the fennec lingering a bit behind the rest of us.
That's the part that made me laugh, because that's how I would react to a girl that sounded like that.
Flynn, meanwhile, looks stone-faced, his hands in his pockets. Hello? I was here the other day, but we have some more questions about Carl, if that's alright.
You were?
Dude, her eyes, they look much more focused in the second one.
She's like thinking. It's like when you look away to think.
Yeah. She does not remember us.
No, she was having a day.
Yeah, she thought Keith was there.
Keith is here.
She stares at me
Keith was
for a
there
long
that
moment.
day.
Uh-oh. Too long, actually. Flynn audibly sighs.
Oh, I know you. You're Leo's boyfriend, right?
I got you punched.
Ex-boyfriend?
Jenna chimes in, but seems to visibly regret it as Heather's attention swivels to her.
Oh my god! Jasmine, hi!
Her face!
No, I hate this.
Oh, she got the thigh cuts in her jeans.
That was such a thing. I mean, honestly, I think around here that might be like just genuine wear and tear of actual clothing, but that was like very hip for a while.
Yeah.
And your pockets wouldn't even work, and your pockets would come out of the holes in the jeans because that little flap of your pocket would just be there, and it was fucking stupid.
She got to cut out the pockets too, and just give up on all functionality.
Yeah, a lot of girls I knew did just cut out the pockets because they just affected the look of the shorts, and you just made them less functional.
Wow. Yeah. Also, she's showing her stripes.
I guess she's just like a cat. I guess just like a normal cat.
Yeah, pumas aren't striped, so
no, pumas are tan.
She's probably a lynx, like CJ.
No, I mean Lynx got those long pointed ears. I think she's just a fucking cat,
like a house cat.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Oh yeah, just like the brown striped ones.
Yeah, like a tabby cat. Some person in the comments.
What are they called?
Like, no, that's not what that one's called. Like,
are calicos the one where like their color is their gender? Like, there's no.
No, well, they're white, brown, and black. They're white with splotches of like black and orange, but calicos are always girls. I mean, yeah, like 99% of the time.
There's like one where it's tied to their gender, so like the other one.
Because it's on their
X
chromosome or whatever. Basically it's a genetic thing. And then there's certain ones that are always usually boys, and I want to say that those are maybe the orange ones. Like, once again, someone in the comments who's like a cat fanatic is going to be like, oh my gosh, you got it wrong. But yeah, and I think calicos are always girls, and I want to say orange ones are always, the orange stripy ones are usually boys. I think. But it's, you know, I'm not a cat, I'm a dog person, so, you know.
Yep. Too many dogs person.
I want all the dogs person.
She rushes over to Jenna, wrapping her arms around her in a tight hug.
You look really good. Thanks. That is kind of a weird thing to say. Like, did I not before, bitch?
Jenna doesn't correct her on the name change for some reason.
Because you don't want to have more of a conversation with this person than you already have to have.
Yeah. I just don't care about what this person says enough to care about them using the right name.
I relate to this.
Instead, she very gingerly pats Heather on the back before withdrawing back a foot.
I didn't shower this morning, so it's a wonder if true. Neither did I!
Wow! Astonishing. Where's Jeremy at?
Oh, hi, Flynn.
Heather waves at him, despite the Gila being literally only a couple feet away. Flynn furrows his brow some and limply waves his hand before stuffing it back in his pocket.
Jer, like Jeremy. I was like, oh, I made a joke a while ago and he got really offended and walked off. It was so dumb.
She was wasn't she the one where we overheard her just ranting about racist jokes?
I was gonna say, I think she probably just said something like racist.
She's just like horribly racist all the time. And like, ha, everybody takes this so seriously. Where do you walk off to?
I don't know. Oh, let me get you guys a drink. We're having an Oha?
Ahoa?
Ahoa? We're having an Ahoa party.
I don't know what that means.
And I'm a Hoa party.
I'm a Hoa party. Before anyone can say anything else, she turns heel and scampers off, her demeanor like an excited child.
Tee-hee-hee-hee.
Once we're alone, I broach the obvious question. What's an Ahoa party? Jenna looks over at me and shrugs. Meanwhile, Flynn squints at the land around him, folding his arms over his chest and mumbling to himself. Whose property is this? I thought she lived with her dad, the one who works at the dam. The lizard sucks in his tongue and quickly shakes his head, his question evidently rhetorical.
She does seem different, doesn't she? I wasn't expecting the compliments after, well, how she treated me before.
Next thing we know, the feline is returning with 3 beers clutched to her chest.
Hurry, hurry, hurry! Take them, they're really cold and getting my shirt wet.
I blink and quickly step up to take one, kind of awkwardly sliding it from between her forearm and her cleavage. I'm not particularly hankering for a beer right now, admittedly, but I didn't exactly want to leave her hanging. After a moment of hesitation, Flynn and Jenna also take a beer.
You guys can have a seat around the bonfire, too.
I glance over to the bonfire. It's pretty small, only about 2 or 3 feet high.
And also it's like the middle of the day.
Yeah. Why anyone would want to hang out near a bonfire during a 90-degree springtime heat wave is beyond me.
Yeah.
So, it's hot for spring is what he means. I'm like, 90 degrees isn't that hot for where I think we are.
I mean...
out in the desert.
This is just a nighttime type activity. I don't know why she's trying to do it in the middle of the day.
It's always beers and bonfire time.
Usually fire during the day is like an emergency.
Maybe she's hallucinating
grill.
already.
Maybe. I mean...
Maybe she thinks it's back in the days before whatever something happened with Jasmine.
I mean, but she also said like, oh, she's acting like she hasn't seen us in a while. Like, oh,
yeah.
It's like, I don't know. Maybe she's just like this. It's very possible.
She's just like this. The most damning thing you can say about someone.
And it's funny because you don't even need context. You just can say like, oh, they're just like that.
Yeah.
And it just is inherently negative because it's just like, oh, yeah, no, they're just always like that. Some of the chairs are kind of small though, since they're for little girls. They're not very good for big boys.
She looks up to Flynn, who stands nearly 1.5 feet taller than her. That's a significant height difference. That's like dealing with somebody that's like 5'2" and somebody who's like fucking like 6'8".
Oh gosh.
Like you have to be in the extremes of normal human sizes. The phrasing is so strange, and her smiling gaze lingers way too long. What? I'm fine standing. Flynn shifts uncomfortably.
Yeah, I think he would like bust. I'm trying to like bust a chair. I'm picturing those like little chairs they have for like little kids and like the little princess ones like they described.
Yeah.
I couldn't even fit my ass in one of those. Flynn would fucking destroy it.
She's just being comically forward with him.
Big boy.
She does know he's gay, right?
Yeah, I recognize them. Those are mine.
She points to the princess chairs, specifically one with the print of a female cat in a blue dress and tiara, surrounded by chirping woodland birds. Disney girl.
Yeah, Disney girl. Or were. Oh, wow! Do you want them back? No. Why not?
Jenna stares blankly at her. Look, Heather, when was the last time you saw Carl?
Oh,
She scratches herself, looking off to the side.
I don't know. You should wait for Jer. He'd have an answer for you. In fact, I'll go look for him for you.
Lynn steps up, his brow ridge furrowed. It's a simple goddamn question that I'm asking you. Specific like. When was the last time you saw Carl? Heather reels back as Flynn's tone grows more stern, the cat clutching at her own arms. So he's interpreting it as she's specifically waiting for Jeremy to get back to give the answer because to keep their story straight, to imply that she has seen Carl.
Yeah, no, that is a good inference because like it's like, when's the last time you've seen a person? Honestly, even if you just said like, oh, I haven't seen them for like a month or something, it doesn't have to be specific, but like even just saying something like that is more of a solid answer than just being like, I don't know, which is a weird thing to say. 'Cause you can guesstimate, you know, but just saying I don't know in its entirety is a very weird response to a question like that. I don't know.
You know who Carl is. You blew him in high school.
Oh no, Carl! Carl! What? No, that was Tanya. Carl's gross.
As I recall, Heather briefly dated TJ, not Carl.
Oh, I can kind of see. They're both cats, yeah.
TJ was not ready.
She was not going to blow TJ.
It was a weird
She
coupling.
better not have blown TJ. I'm going to be upset for his innocence.
TJ is eternally virginal. At the age of 70, he'll just turn
He's just a cute old man. He's like, ho, 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 ho.
I don't know what sex is.
A vagina.
Never heard of her. It was a weird coupling, with her being a couple of years older, though I guess I have no room to speak there. That's even more weird because of the Route 65 encounter with TJ and Heather.
Yeah.
And then a few years they were dating. What?
Does TJ not remember that horrible experience?
She was kind of mean to everyone, so it wasn't surprising that they split.
I
Ended up dating one of Leo's friends on the football team, if I remember right.
I don't like that the older girl's trying to scoop up little baby TJ. I would have, if I was Jenna, I would have tried to fight her. Like,
I have never had this level of, like, awareness of, like, dating histories in high school. Like, this was not this level of gossip to keep track of this stuff. It seems like so much.
Well, their school seems like it's like fucking 50 people.
Fucking whatever. Flynn waves off the correction. I remember taking an investigative journalism course freshman year that discussed interviewing techniques used by the police department. It included being this big comprehensive list of tells for when someone's lying or obfuscating the truth. The way Heather's acting fits the description of a lot of the aforementioned. Wait, Heather, you're like best friends with Jeremy. Heather still looks like she's about to bolt, but responds regardless.
He's cool, but what does that...
And he sells pot around here? Jeremy looks over at me. Jenna looks over at me, seemingly curious about where I'm going with this.
Do you, like, need a plug?
Just the other context for that word.
Oh, well, not that plug, silly. Because I don't get involved with any of that. I don't know anything.
Ever. About anything.
About anything ever. I'm like, if the police arrested her, she would just be like, I don't know anything about anything at all. It's like, what's your name? It's like, I don't know.
I quickly shake my head. No, like, you're around him when he does that sort of thing. Were you there when he sold to Carl last? She shifts her posture some, the cat scratching behind her ear as her whiskers bristle. She cuts herself off, trying to think of the right words.
They don't want me talking about this sort of thing with other people, especially you guys, since you all hate us. I'm supposed to say that I don't know anything, but I do. I'm not stupid.
But now I'm going to say this stuff out loud.
I know.
To prove how smart I am. Wait a minute.
I think her just coming out and saying it like that is already stupid. I think she should have been like, you know what? Like, now if she's going to say it. Okay, if she's not going to say it, she should just be like, oh, you know, I wasn't there. I was doing something else. If she is going to say it, she should just be like, oh, now that you mention it, like, I forgot. Like, yeah, I know that was the other night, blah, blah, blah. I feel like just being like, they tell me what to do and I do it, but I don't follow directions well, so I'm failing currently by telling you everything I know. Like, that is the worst way to look in front of these people. Either act like you don't know anything or just admit that you do, but don't let on to the fact that they manipulate you. Like, you're fucking stupid.
Yeah. Her voice is raised now, and she's clenching her fists against her stomach. Yeah, I get that, you know? It's totally cool. You're a fucking brainiac for sure.
Shut up, Flynn, you're ruining it. Shut up!
She screeches at Flynn, the Gila covering his ear holes with a wince. Jesus fucking Christ. Just ignore him, okay? He just wants to find our friend. We're really worried. Her dilated pupils flick back and forth between the two of us.
Our pupils are dilated.
There's another long silence.
Like Keith?
That name again. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does sound familiar, huh, Keith?
I look at Flynn and Jenna to see if it's ringing any bells with them. I'm not getting anything from Flynn, but Jenna frowns some.
Hopefully not like Keith. That's why we're here now.
Heather's shifting gaze meets Jenna's, holding there for a moment before refocusing to me.
I was eating apple smoked jerky with Jer. That's very specific. When Carl texted that he needed some stuff. He did the deal, but nothing special happened, I don't think.
So nothing out of the ordinary? Heather thinks in silence for a while. Flynn, meanwhile, bites the cap off his beer and takes a swig.
What the fuck? He used his teeth to open the beer? What a monster. At least use like a lighter or something. You fucking use your teeth? Jeez. Clint and Micha came by later and kept being really weird and pushy. Well, like Clint was. Micha just stole my jerky, but that's kind of how he usually is.
Pushy how? About Carl?
I think so.
They're implying that Clint and Micha came together? That's weird. That's a pairing. Also, it's just rough that Micha knows Clint. That's characterization.
Yeah, I mean, anyone really associated with Clint is like, that is characterization.
Yeah. Pushy how? About Carl?
I think so.
Wait, really? Flynn stops mid-drink, looking on in anticipation following her statement.
Yeah. It was, like, about money stuff, which I don't pay any attention to. I don't really use money that much anymore. I'm, like, aesthetic. What the fuck does that even mean?
She's she's an ascetic.
Oh my gosh.
Is what she's trying to say. She's like, I'm like aesthetic.
Oh my gosh. What an idiot.
I'm like anesthetic.
I just thought she was like...
It's like fucking Glass Onion.
Yeah, dude.
Where throughout the movie he's saying just the wrong words constantly because he doesn't know what they mean.
Like I said, I caught that. I was just like, I noticed that immediately. I was like, oh, he's like, he's like not using good words. He's just a dumb guy.
Okay. But do you remember anything specific?
I think so. I was calling Mike out for the jerky thing, but he just kept ignoring me. Clint kept talking over me, and when I got mad at him, he just started whispering to Micah. It was like super rude, so I remember it really well. It's actually been like really hard to remember things lately.
Oh. That's about all I can think to respond with. As I look over, I can see Jenna tapping away at her phone, typing something. She peers up for only a moment, just long enough to give a soft smile and a nod. She's like, she's
recording stuff.
She's taking minutes. She must be writing all this down. Flynn, meanwhile, is putting on an active effort to keep his mouth shut. He's waiting on me expectantly to continue. Before I can follow up, Heather starts speaking again, this time to Jenna.
I don't really remember, like, why we didn't get along. Because the name Jasmine pops in my head, I'm like, ooh, it's that bitch. But I just saw you now, and it just seems so silly, doesn't it?
Jenna doesn't even seem to react to Heather at first. She shuts off the screen of her phone and exhales, looking Heather in the eye. She doesn't speak immediately, and there's this sort of latent tension in the air.
Yeah. It is a bit silly now. We're all very much grown-ups here. And I appreciate the hospitality. You know, actually, we've got some spare cooked bluegill in the car.
Spare?
I cooked that for you, damn it.
Flynn grunts.
Flynn caught and cooked it himself.
Flynn looks slightly less disgruntled after being credited, though it's clear he'd really intended the food to be for us.
Oh, bluegill's good. I really like walleye, though.
I just caught bluegill. Got some bass at home, but didn't bring it. Also, walleye ain't really in season.
That sucks. Cool you caught and cooked it, though. That's really rustic.
That's like aesthetic.
I usually just get something from the gas station.
You're welcome.
As for issues with remembering things, I'm not quite licensed to be issuing diagnoses. But I did briefly volunteer at a memory center up in Peyton. I actually think I have a card here, still in the bottom of my purse.
Jenna digs through her handbag for a moment before withdrawing a faded little card. Heather takes it, peering it over with some visible trepidation at the clinical text and brain imagery imprinted on it.
If you can get a ride up there on a weekday, they generally can take walk-ins. The clerk there is a super nice horse guy named Jessup. He can help you get set up with Medicaid to pay for it if you're not already covered.
Horse guy? Like from the story.
Yeah.
The fact that fucking...
Well, because she made up that story earlier about fucking a horse guy, and he got all salty about it, so he's
I love that Chase fixated on that.
He's stuck on it.
Like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Oh, that's super neat. Thank you. It would be really cool if they could, like, let me pick and choose which memories I get to keep, though. Like, fucking Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Yeah. What the fuck, Heather? Like, where do you think we are?
Jenna smiles, a flickering sense of melancholy behind her turquoise eyes.
These aren't turquoise. Wait, Jenna or Heather?
Jenna.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Sorry. I was looking at Heather's face, like, that's
she's dealing with
right.
the fact that this person doesn't even remember what they did to her, probably. Because it's probably something bad.
Well, I just think
it's like, wouldn't it be nice if we could just select which memories to keep?
Watch her go back and, like, review the memories and be like, I did hate Jenna. I was right. That bitch. Like,
that bitch.
Yeah. I mean, to not, like, I went and saw my friends recently from high school, and there was, like, so many things I just didn't remember. But, I mean, that's pretty normal. It is kind of sad to, like, be like, oh, man, I don't remember that day. I was like, remember when this happened? I'm like, no, I don't. Like, maybe, like, a vague lingering, but I don't remember any of the specifics about that at all. But at the very least, like, you should at least remember, like, the general feelings you had about specific people in high school. Yeah. You know? Like, when I do see my friends from high school, it's like an instant, like, oh, I'm friends with that person. I know how to talk to them immediately. you know, it could be years, and I would just we would like fall into the same place. And if there was someone I had bad blood with in high school, fuck, I remember that. Like, there's some people to this day, if I saw, I'd be like, you. Like, but to not remember like having issues with any specific person at all is like a very bad sign of memory issues, because you're missing like the whole vibe of that whole interaction for 4 years of your entire life.
Yeah, like, what is this relationship?
You don't remember if you like someone or not. Like, that's pretty bad. It would be nice, wouldn't it? Of course, the challenges and traumas we overcome shape who we are today. Oh yeah, totally. So double bummer if you're not exactly happy with who you are today, right, Jazz? Haha.
She lets out a sad-sounding giggle.
Oh, she doesn't like who she is today.
Out of the corner of my eye, I see Flynn blink some, then peer offward awkwardly.
I feel bad for Heather a little bit.
He spits on the ground, the faint smell of his venom wafting in the breeze for a moment.
See, I told you Gila monsters were venomous.
I'm guessing he bit that cap too hard.
Yeah, you trying to impress everybody, you fucking weirdo.
I'm so cool.
Open it with my teeth.
Jen opens her mouth to respond, but she pauses. Her ear flicks some, and she folds her arms over her chest.
Yeah, double bummer. Let me go get that bluegill. I'll be right back. Oh, okay.
Jenna heads back towards the truck, and we're left standing awkwardly with Heather.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna get the others real quick, so bye!
Before we can say anything further, she takes off again. In the distance, I can see her start running, her arms flailing with a palsy-like limpness to her sides.
Dude, I did know girls that would run like that.
Palsy-like.
That's not the nicest way to say it, but...
No, it's not.
It's not. But it makes me immediately understand what the author means, and I do know girls that run like that on purpose, because it's cuter.
Because they run like anime girls.
Oh yeah, dude, oh my gosh. I have a piece of toast in my mouth and I'm late for school. I'm running with my arms all like, hee hee. You're running with like little fists that are like at shoulder height, and then they just rotate around your shoulder for some reason, and I'm like, what are you doing? What is this? How did you learn this? Dude, at least Naruto run to school, okay? If you're gonna do any anime trope, at least Naruto
Step
run.
it up.
Because no one dislikes that.
I can't help but feel a sort of queasy sensation at the sight. This is what this place does to people. Jenna returns with the Tupperware, letting out a long sigh as she sees Heather in the distance. Props to you for not just smacking the shit out of her. That was, weirdly cordial, considering. Okay, so that's not good. It's very not good, whatever happens.
Like I said, I just think it's just general, like, animosity. It's really funny. It is funny when occasionally you run into someone from high school and they have really good things to say about you, and you're like, I hated you. It makes me feel good about myself, because I'm like, wow, like, I feel even cooler now
You
because
were awful the whole time.
Yeah, I fucking hated your guts. And there are some people I definitely would like to smack. I don't know what I would do if I saw some of them. I never had any horrible experiences, but I never encountered people from high school, like, again. And it's probably for the best most of the time. There's some people that I look back at fondly, and it's funny because they probably don't even know, like, or remember I exist. But it's just like, oh, like that person. If I saw them, like, I really wish them the best. Like, they were just a nice person. I only knew them in a very vague way, but they seemed like a good person. There's some people that I just had no respect for. But it's people that were mean to other people that I had a hard time with, and I'd always, like, snap at them. And so it's funny that they can go through their entire high school experience thinking that I'm a cool person and not, like, realizing that I was bullying them for being a jerk. Like, either that or they just respect me now for it, which is how I'd like to think of it. But oh, no. Part of me wanted to. Trust me.
That would have made things harder for this whole questioning business, for sure.
Well, there was that. And I suppose I was thinking about what you told me when you were walking earlier, Chase.
Flynn raises a brow ridge, waiting for her to explain. She does not. I get the feeling you guys have a more intense history than I thought.
I tried not to talk about it too much back in the day. Back then, she was rude to me, even when I'd done nothing wrong to her. I figured she was just insecure and left it at that. Then one night, she came to me with no one else to turn to, tears in her eyes. She claimed she had some pretty serious problems going on at home and wanted to tell me about it. From that point forward, I was ready to defend her, to help in any way I could, short of going to the police, of course, because she begged me not to. It started out as little things, the favors. She was too emotionally distressed to do her homework, so I did it. She couldn't come to class because of a panic attack, and the teacher wouldn't understand, so I lied for her. She needed money to see a friend in Peyton, so I gave her what little money I had. This went on for some time, until eventually enough was enough. I had my own problems, especially at home, and I just couldn't juggle the well-being of everyone. That's not my responsibility. I told her up front that I was going through a tough time and couldn't do those favors anymore, but I was always available to talk. That wasn't good enough, of course. Despite being busy with her fractured home life and the stresses of school, she still found time to create this elaborate revenge on the one person who cared enough to help. Next thing I know, her latest boyfriend of the week and his friends are pounding on my front door at 10 p.m. And what does he tell Mom and Dad when they open the door?
She deepens her voice, putting on a dude bro accent.
Yo, I'm looking for Jasmine. She told us to meet out here to get some. So not only did they convince my idiotic parents that I was fucking 5 guys, including her boyfriend, she told the whole school. I had my paw smashed in a locker, was fired from my part-time job, and lost almost all of my friends outside of you guys.
Jenna gestures to the both of us.
She made herself the sufferer in that narrative, the one who had mistakenly trusted the weird, horny anime girl. Oh, the weird,
Jesus
horny
Christ.
Anime girl. Cute.
AKA your best friend.
AKA I wish
No
I knew that person in
downsides.
high school.
It's weird that the idea of having sex with multiple people is somehow a life-destroying rumor. Like,
I mean, granted,
the
your
fuck?
parents never want to hear about you fucking even a single person.
No, it's not a great start with your parents, especially when she has shitty parents in particular. But the idea that this has like massive ramifications throughout school, I'm like,
and also your job. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with your
Yeah.
job? If you want to go fuck around, like if you come to work and you do a good job, I do not care what you do outside of work. Like,
it's just the world having baffling priorities and just bizarre things that people fixate on. And also just the really obvious double standard where it's like, this is a problem when it's a woman.
yeah,
When it's a dude, it's like, fucking...
Way to go, bro.
Way to go. It's like, with a dude doing this is like the third place guy that's like celebrating and kissing his trophy and everything. And like, that fucking meme.
it is a little bit frustrating. It's like, you know, girls, no shame in your game. You do your thing. Like, and honestly, if you can fuck 5 guys at a time, that's impressive. If that's your hobby, go for it. Just be safe and be smart. That's my advice. That's Stephanie's advice for the day.
Jenna takes in a sharp breath from her nostrils, her composure otherwise completely solid.
And she didn't even have the dignity to atone for her actions when the chance was standing right in front of her. She continues to lie and manipulate her way through every social interaction to make herself feel better. It's the perpetuation of this endless cycle of perceiving herself as a sort of eternal victim, when in reality, it's complete delusion that hurts her and everyone around her.
With the way Jenna rattles off point after point regarding Heather's transgressions, it's evident this is something she's thought about greatly. Maybe even rehearsed. I can't believe you never told me any of this.
Honestly, Chase, you're kind of a shitty friend for not noticing that any of this was happening. Because I feel like getting her hand smashed in a locker, you don't think you'd ask her what happened to her hand? Like, I don't know, you just feel like it would come up inadvertently.
She might have lied. It actually kind of seems like the kind of thing that she would potentially lie about, and then Chase would think was family stuff.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Because there's already other reasons bad shit's happening. I don't know how this rumor's hitting everyone but this friend group, though, somehow.
Well, because it's like, oh, I lost all my friends except for you guys. So it's like everyone else in the whole school knew.
Or the way to really damn Chase here would be like, Chase is like, I can't believe you didn't tell us any of this. And then Flint's like, oh, I knew about all this.
I mean, that might be the case. Like
everyone knew about this except for you, Chase. Why are you such a bad friend?
When I was hanging out with you guys, that whole drama was the last thing I wanted to think about. You know, it was actually Leo kept prodding me that something was wrong and insisted he help. I suppose he meant well enough. Dude, honestly, Leo might have been the person to tell about this, because I think he would have went and beat people up. I mean, as much as like that's not exactly what you want in that situation, that might have been what I would want.
It is the thing he does every time.
That is his one talent is beating people up. So if
Horrible
you can,
at running in parking lots, good at punching.
if you can harness that for good one time, like I would take it.
Down the hill a ways, the dusty shape of two figures can be seen emerging from an old shed. One of them pauses as he sees Heather sprinting off down the road, while the other ignores her and carries on. Eventually, though, the both of them see us and begin making their ways in our direction. Is it going to be the people she was looking for? They just let her just keep running off in some direction to find nobody, and then they just walk up to us. Well, here comes the gang.
Like she runs past them, and then they just are like, "Oh, hey, Flynn's over there." They start walking up towards us.
She's never gonna eat that fish. I sidestep out over to Jenna, lowering my voice some. But, are you okay? Jenna seems slightly surprised at the question.
A little late now.
Giving me a light smile.
Maybe one day she'll realize what she did, even if it's not today. So to put it simply, I'm good, Chase. Thank you for the concern.
After what she just expressed, it's a bit of an oversimplification, but I'm not going to press the issue. She probably just really wanted that catharsis. So what? Did you come back with your posse to intimidate us or whatever? Jeremy's dull eyes are focused on me. I don't remember exactly what Jeremy's voice was, but I also have to contrast it with Flynn's. And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm starting to feel increasingly intrusive, standing next to their bonfire with their beer. This is definitely the sort of shit that would get me smacked down as a kid.
Is he here?
The smaller bat whispers to Jeremy, seeming to be walking directly behind him as if trying to stay out of sight. No, man. Micha lets out a relieved sigh, and after a moment, the familiar white, fuzzy form of Micha emerges from behind the rotund fennec. He's clutching something, though, a long piece of rebar. At first I think he's holding it as a sort of self-defense weapon, but then I noticed the hot, white ash coated on the end. I guess it's a makeshift poker for the bonfire.
Oh, he's gonna brand us. Hello, Jeremy.
Hey, sis. Man, it's like... Ask how you've been, but I'm assuming good, right?
Generally speaking, yes. Where's Heather?
She said she had to do something real quick. I think she'll be back.
Well, like I said, I'm well enough. However, we're still looking for Carl, as Chase here made you aware of yesterday.
Jeremy looks over me with a tepid expression, the faint outlines of a grimace forming at the edge of his muzzle. Really? Really? Flynn steps up, the Gila tall enough that his shadow falls directly upon the smaller fennec. Whoa, rockabilly. Don't see you much out here. Fucking wonder why. Micha glares at him from across the bonfire, the shifty-looking bat increasingly agitated by our presence.
We told Schizo all we knew yesterday. Evidently not, and yeah, don't call him that.
Jeremy lets out an amused noise, though it's clear he's also getting a bit tense, especially with Flynn's looming form. Heather was saying y'all were talking about Carl after the drop, all secretive-like. Shortly after, he fucking disappears. You tit-dirts want to extrapolate on that?
Tit-dirts, huh? What is that, Flynn? Tit-dirts? What is a tit-dirt? I don't know what to say to that.
I'm gonna Google tit-dirt.
No, be careful. It's dangerous.
Just to see what's ever happened on the internet before.
See, like I said, I like asshat, but at least asshat makes sense. Because it's just like, oh, you're just a You just a brain sitting on an
Tit
ass.
dirt. Urban Dictionary. The dirt underneath the breast on a man boob to contain dirt in your breast area, saying used by Tourette's guy, founded in the 2008 of the wait, hang on. This goes beyond the keeps going past the preview.
Urban Dictionary is like not the most organized site to look at.
Yeah. The first result's actually when you get dirt all over your tits. Then the preview was the other one. Founded in 2008 by the Tourette's guy, the blackest motherfucker alive, JB, aka Kobe.
I don't know who that is. Is that an internet meme?
I think this is a reference to 2008.
So basically, it's dirt found underneath like the fold of a man boob.
This is so. We're getting a direct portal into McSweeney's
because dirt underneath the
history.
Fold of a nice
It sounds
titty
like some fucking like albino black sheep era stuff.
What?
Do you not know what albino black sheep is?
No.
This is just a few years removed. Well, once upon a time on the internet, we didn't have YouTube.
What?
So we had like E-Bombs World and albino black sheep and Weeble's stuff, because all these things predated YouTube, where there was a unified place to watch videos and memes and things, and it was all random. Badger.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the Weebles one, right?
Yeah. I only really saw Weeble that much. I knew a little bit about E-Bombs World, and I never went to albino black sheep, but for some reason that's the first name that came to mind just now. Though this was back when the internet was less congealed into 4 websites and more, there was a billion random sites that you just heard about, and some of them a lot of people knew about, and that's the world that Fur Affinity is from, and it's never changed. It's just still the same website from all the way back then. I think some of those websites still do something, and I guess like Newgrounds and stuff. I think Newgrounds is also older than YouTube, I think.
It's funny because recently I was showing like one of those videos of interrogation footage where they go through like the psychology of the interrogation footage, and then like how they were talking about the physical signs of lying and how that may or may not be accurate because of certain things and the pauses and the breaks and all this stuff. I find that so fascinating. But I was showing it to somebody and they're like, "This is what you watch on YouTube?" And I was like, "Yeah, but like my list of things I watch on YouTube also includes like theme park history. There's an old man that reviews kitchen gadgets I like to watch. I like to watch some video game playthroughs, but usually only if they're scary. I like to watch, but one of my lists, I had like this long ass list of random bullshit. People review movies, like this and this and this, but like people do extreme challenges on Roller Coaster Tycoon. And then one of them was just like, but I also like watching like weird history of the internet. And so a lot of the stuff that I've learned about early internet, because I should have been a part of it but was not for a very long period of time, is people doing video essays on like the history of like a fad on the internet, or like
Easy's videos.
Maybe.
I'm trying to remember. Is that they have a different? It's like their username. I mean, like I don't mean like that's the history. I mean they do videos about like very specific internet history things. I
might have watched their videos before.
They're the one that's got a lot of makeup, just extreme.
Oh, Izzy.
Yeah.
I thought you said easy.
I thought like Easy or something.
It's Izzy.
It's a difficult. It's too many letters.
Izzy's.
It's uses. There's like 12 letters somehow in that name, so it makes me guess.
No, yeah, she does very good comprehensive histories on like Neopets lore and like weird bullshit like that I was like, I wasn't like Club Penguin, and I'm like, I wasn't a part of that, but this is all very interesting. I just watched like a whole video on like Channel Awesome's whole weird history and all their weird people on there, and how all those people came from that whole thing, and all the weird drama that happened in it, and the lawsuits that happened, and all the weird nonsense. I find that stuff fascinating.
What a nightmare cesspit. It's the type of thing that makes me afraid of ever expanding into any kind of like content creation like company with multiple people.
Yeah, those people that all live together is fucking weird. Like all those different houses, the YouTuber houses thing, that's fucking weird too. Like,
I feel like it's chill if you're people that do gaming, but it's weird if you're like vloggers, Because then they're just a bunch of fucking lunatics trying to create content by just fucking with each other and like creating.
People have like fake relationships and fake breakups.
And everyone's just like blowing money to make content, and like it's all like spectacle, as opposed to being like streamers that just hang out and share rent.
I mean, that's like me, except I don't do anything by myself. I just live next door to you. But yeah, I do. I'm vaguely aware of these things only because that is, so for some reason, a thing I like to watch on YouTube. I don't know why I have interest in these things, but I am aware of E-Bomb's world because of this.
Everyone's YouTube front page is such a specific portal into their personality. It's such a trip. I just think about like when I go to like my when I visit my mom and I go on their smart TV and I see what my fucking like stepdad is looking at on their TV, and you can just like their YouTube, and it's just entirely meat preparation. It's just all like grilling and opinions about steaks and like knives and all this shit. It's like it's the entire thing. And I'm like, he went and made red meat his entire personality. I'm just like,
I mean, that is a personality, I guess. Well, last time I saw him, he was showing us YouTube videos of people in South Korea making breakfast and how they make breakfast. Remember we were watching the videos on the eggs and rice and basically how to make eggs and rice in like a million different ways?
Yeah, we saw that at the, when we were at that...
that was actually pretty interesting. I'd watch that again.
Cabin hotel type place.
I fell into a YouTube hole of people reviewing food delivery services because I've been scamming food delivery services this year. Not like DoorDash, but more like the ones that are like meal prep. We'll give you 70% off your first order, and like if you use this code through this, you get an extra thing of this. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that, and then immediately cancel. And I have a whole list. I'm going through my list.
Our house has been visited by every single meal prep company, one by one.
Yeah, the list is so long.
I recognize the package.
Keep scamming.
Yeah, I recognize the package types, but it's never the same company.
I have a grocery thing on the way, and I went to cancel them, and the guy offered me such a good deal that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this for a while. He like waived the membership fee for an entire year and gave me like 20% off like every time I order groceries for the first 12 times, and I can order them whenever I want. And I'm like, okay, fuck, I'll do that for a while. I'm being crafty this year because I'm trying to save money.
How do I figure out how to get surprise food?
Well, I'm like, fuck them. They're trying to scam me, so I'm just scamming them back. But I fell into this rabbit hole. This girl like it's like mom making smoothies, and her explaining how she makes smoothies for her kids and how they're cheaper than the ones you can buy from like this one specific website and why. And she's like, I don't know. I just fell down this rabbit hole watching this mom cook for like an hour and a half. I'm like, where the fuck am I?
Anyway, this was brought to you by Tit Dirt.
Yep, Tit Dirt.
Tit Dirt, trademark.
That's our sponsor today.
They're sponsored by Tit Dirt. You got dirty tits. That's all it means.
better wash them dirty tits.
It was actually self-explanatory.
Yeah, we didn't need to look it up at all.
All things considered, but it had a specific origin, apparently. From the fucking year I became an adult.
Thanks, Internet.
1,000 years ago. Jeremy lets out an astonished puff of air, turning to peer past Jenna at me. Wow, dude. You really did fucking go crying to your friends for help. I feel a knot starting to form in my stomach, and I resist the urge to clench my fists. I'm just trying to find Carl. He's your friend too, right? Fuck no. Rich tits don't got any love around these parts.
He's dirt and rich tits.
Oh no. His rich tits because he doesn't have any tit dirt.
The dirt becomes gold.
He has a shower, so there's no tit dirt.
His tits press it into diamonds.
Like Carl's paradoxically clean for his demeanor. Didn't even think the guy had friends anymore after you two left. He points to Jenna and I. Flynn scowls but says nothing.
Flynn's like, I'm his friend too, I make him fish. Yo, does Mommy Mare know you're here?
Mike is looking up at Flynn now.
Cause I won't be harassed, bitch.
Flynn actually laughs, exasperated beyond measure. Kid, you shut your mouth before I call your parents.
I'm nearly 21 now. You can't do shit.
Wow. He's that old? Yeah, I can call the sheriff on you for trespassing on an unpermitted for trespassing and an unpermitted burning during fire season, and they'd charge you as an adult. 'Cause you're an adult.
Then why is your faggot ass here instead of them, bitch?
Jenna rubs her temple with both paws. Guess which one of these two people is better with people? In fact, like 2 out of 3 of us are doing some level of mediating with people, and one of us is just like, it's just Flynn. I mean, it'd be out of character if he handled any social situation well, because he's literally the reason why there's paths in this game.
Yeah, no, he's the one that he split the world apart.
Yeah, he's such a dick that he split the timeline.
he tore the world asunder.
Which, frankly, goals.
He's that much of a protagonist. Okay, let's put a stop to that. We apologize. We apologize for intruding on your Ahoa party, but we wouldn't be here if this wasn't serious. This ain't serious to me. Sounds like a big joke seeing you clowns back together. Micha, enough.
Her tone is so stern and maternal that it visibly catches the bat off guard.
He's like, I don't have a mom. Jenna, will you be my new mom?
His eyes got like very different. Like he's like emotional.
He's a little child. He's a little baby.
I'm really fixated on the fact. So like, there's a lot of really cool details on this character design, and I like Micha's design in general. But I'm also like fixated on the fact that like there's just a gradient that goes to his like muzzle color, and then it looks like someone drew like a pig nose on with Sharpie. Like it's just a little line. It's just a little squiggly line.
Well, I mean, that is how it looks. Like
it's just really
a little fruit bat nose. It just
makes them really goofy looking.
In terms of like animals to pick for your persona, like bat is a good.
Yeah.
The wings would be a pain in the ass to draw. That's the problem. But like,
yes.
The bats are so cute. I love bats so much. That is like a high up on the list. Like that's a good choice.
I tried to draw a bat character and I gave up trying to even think about the wings. I'm like, what the? How does this even work? Let alone with clothes and whatnot. But I was very torn between. Hyena, maned wolf, and fruit bat, or flying fox, which I guess are technically, those are different, but similar.
Well, flying foxes, I think, also eat fruit sometimes.
You big ones, though.
Yeah, no,
Those are the ones you see in South America where they're just hanging in someone's garage and they're almost touching the ground.
Yeah, no,
you're like, what the fuck? This thing is a dog that flies.
I'll take you to the Oakland Zoo. They have an exhibit of them there. They're
cool.
They're really cute.
I just like the detail that how much of a struggle it is for him to have a shirt that fits.
That would be a fucking problem.
So he just has armholes that go all the way down to he's wearing a tucked tank top and booty shorts. Like this character's a lot.
Dude, I have that outfit. When it stops raining in fucking California for one goddamn second, because it's been a fucking nightmare over here. I'm gonna bust out that outfit when summer comes around.
That's right. I think I told you that all these the guest character in each campaign is one of like it's like a big Patreon backer or something like that, like one of the people that funded the game being made, and so they put them in as guest characters, and like apparently the carnival barker is just someone's cat. That's what that one cat guy at the beginning.
Is the cat always a carnival barker? Like in terms of the persona, like is that his persona?
Well, it's like that one wasn't even a persona. It was just a supporter's cat.
Okay,
they just drew them as the carnival barker, and that's why there's a weird sprite.
It'd be funny to have a persona that was specifically a cat carnival barker.
Yeah, like visual novels are so economical in their design usually because of how much work it is to have all the visuals that like. The moment the carnival barker had a visual, it primed me for the idea that he's going to come up in some way or matter, but it was literally just like, they just drew someone's cat as a character. I think they added that in the anniversary update a year later. They just gave the carnival barker a sprite just as a reward for someone or something.
Aww.
But I just wonder how much control... I wonder how much these characters are designed to fit the setting and how much they're just designed by the person who owns the character or whatever, and is getting thanked essentially, like as far as like clothing and like theming goes. I always wonder what's involved there exactly. In particular, what stood out to me is that like there's a very funny detail. Two things. One, Kudzu, the person who is Kudzu in real life, is watching the series.
Oh,
So that's funny.
Hi, Kudzu.
But
you're the best boy.
I think we basically finished the series before I noticed this, but this is a really goofy detail, and it doesn't it doesn't stand out without context. But for as serious as the Leo route is, the entire time Kudzu is dressed as Faith from Mirror's Edge. That's what he's wearing.
That's...
He's literally wearing the clothes of Faith from Mirror's Edge as a cosplay. That's
cute.
And it's like, it's once you think about it, it's extremely goofy.
I just thought he was in the fucking military or something. Or because he had that gym bro kind of like...
That's the very specific white shorts, black tank top with the red highlight thing. Is like, that's Faith from Mirror's Edge.
Oh,
who
dude.
also has a marking under her eye like a raccoon. A little bit.
Oh.
So like there's like a lot going on there. We're like, hang on a minute.
I can dig that.
But like it didn't even register. It's really funny to notice. So I'm just wondering what, like, when I see the shirt and the booty shorts and everything, I'm just like, which parts of these were choices by who?
Well, if Kudzu got to choose his Mirror's Edge outfit, then I'm sure that Micha got to choose his little punk ass like hipster Santa Cruz beach boardwalk boy outfit.
Yeah. There's a real specific thing. Like the arms are like shaved up to the shoulders so that he can have like visible tattoos, and then just extreme floof just shoots out everywhere else. You can get really specific with designs. It's part of the fun.
Well, that's why I like, like I said, I rolled through when I thought about like Persona stuff, like what I would pick. Like I picked my goat because I fucking like goats. But there's a lot of customizability with horns, and then also I like the long ears, and I like all the jewelry you can put on it. Yeah, because that's like my favorite. You can put
jewelry on the horns. You can like have etchings on the horns.
There's a lot you can do.
You can break one of them off.
You can put little gold tips on the end. Like there's things you can do with that, and you can draw the horns in different ways if you wanted to. Like there's a lot of and then also I like that occasionally you can do like the slit eye, the one that's like the sideways pupil. Because I think that's fucking
the peanut
sick.
Eyeballs.
Exactly, I love those. But no, there's like certain animals I just think really work well. It would be hard. Like I think a bat's an adorable animal. Like I said, those wings would be hard. And like if you're like a porcupine or something, that would be very, very cute, but drawing clothing for the porcupine would be such a thing you'd have to think a really long time about.
Yeah.
About the logistics of that.
Dorohedoro problem.
Yes. With his holes in the back of his leather gimp mask.
Yeah.
Like,
that has to be so hard to put on every time to line it up.
I do like Flint's design as much as he's a dick. Like, he's very cool. I like his little mohawk.
I did cycle through all of his sprites because I was curious about, like, how the wings, what their solution was for the wings, because I was trying to draw a bat too, and the answer is kind of they don't.
I mean, there's not really because bats technically have the wings underneath their arms, and it goes like, but like that just ruins everything you could put on them in terms of clothing.
Well, just the trick is that he never raises his arms. So in every single image of him, there's just kind of a vague line connecting.
Oh, I see.
Connecting his wrists to his back, and then they just kind of like shade in the interior. And there's no structure to his wings in this game to indicate how they work really. Like like the individual like those like finger spines and like the joints and stuff that are in a wing, like that in a bat wing. There's like a lot going on there structurally that's like confusing, and they kind of skipped past that. They just kind of he kind of just has a blanket that connects his arms. That's the level of detail here. It's just kind of and he doesn't. They just avoided having a bunch of poses where he'd have to figure out what to do with his wings if he like crossed his arms or something.
Oh yeah, what would you do?
Yeah, just keep him down. Don't worry about it.
Shh, don't worry about it. It's okay.
He seems surprised that she even remembers his name.
Look, let's just have a seat, all right?
Just take a seat over here.
I was gonna say, that's Chris Hansen. Hey, why don't you just take a seat?
All right, sis, whatever you say. It's weird that Jeremy's not visible.
Yeah, because we saw him earlier.
Yeah, they just chose to stop at 3 sprites, I guess. Micha blinks at Jeremy's response, then grumbles quietly.
Yeah, whatever.
The bat looks over his shoulder before moving to one of the camping chairs and taking a seat. Jeremy does as well. Both seem to make a conscious effort not to sit in the princess ones. Flynn takes another swig from his beer and joins them. I hesitate a bit, but Jenna beckons me forward. As I sit, the singeing burn from the fire mixes with the glaring heat of the sun above, and it feels kind of like I'm slowly being cooked. It's incredibly uncomfortable, but I seem to be the only person bothered. Well, by the heat, that is. We got empanadas from the mini oven. Is that an offer?
It's a threat.
What?
Dumbass.
Boy.
Boys.
Micha shifts in his seat. He keeps looking to Jeremy, as if wondering why he's even humoring this. He miserably pokes at the bonfire with his rebar, sparks flinging forth and dissipating in the desert dust. Jeremy, meanwhile, scoots his chair over and peers inside the little toaster oven-looking thing. It's hooked up by what looks like a 50-foot extension cord that goes into the shattered window of the nearby trailer. Yeah, they probably need a little bit more time cooking anyway.
Now, about Carl.
About Carl. Yeah, didn't want to tell you, you know. He gesticulates towards me. He's been, like, really depressed as of late. I mean, anyone would get that impression if they talked to him a little. I think, like, once you're so rich you have everything you want and don't need to work, it fucks with you. Life alone ain't good enough, man. Now, if you know what's good for you, that stays between us, cool? You better not blab that you know Carl's sad. What kind of secret does he think you spilled?
I mean, like you said, he just said, like, if you talk to him for a second, then you realize it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless you specifically say, Jeremy told me that you're depressed, then I think you're okay.
Carl being depressed, anxious, and codependent is the entire point of his route.
It really is, yeah.
Which, admittedly, it's hard for us to be aware of that in the other routes if he keeps disappearing.
Yes.
Like, much like the idea that Leo's this looming threat in every route, I'm like, is Carl gonna disappear every route? How much is he in this game? I'm genuinely wondering. He looks from Jenna to Flynn, and then finally back to me. Micah's staring hard at Jeremy. The runty bat's lips thinned over his little fangs.
His little fangs, cute.
Sure? Yeah, whatever.
I suppose it depends.
Flynn sighs loudly, placing his face in his hands. We didn't do nothing to Carl direct, like. He just kept telling me how he wanted to feel something, you know?
Oh no, they gave him, like, some weird fucking drugs.
Didn't care what it was. Didn't care what it did to him. I kept telling him, like, nah, man, you're too soft for this, but he wasn't having it. So I gave him, like, a sample bag.
Oh no.
I thought you told me you didn't give him anything else. I said I didn't give him anything laced. There's a difference, yo. Yo. Plus I figured you would have found his tweaking fat ass by now. Let's try that, but speaking like a human would.
Well, I mean, the sentence is not exactly the most human.
Plus, I figured you would have found his tweaking fat ass by now. A sample bag of what? Flynn practically growls. Speed.
Oh shit.
You gave Carl meth. Carl asked for fucking meth? That's horseshit. I don't know what to tell you, man. You must not know him as well as you think. Carl and meth?
Oh no!
It doesn't make any sense. Carl got really into the enlightened drug use thing in high school,
dude,
but he was never on board with stuff
that is
hard.
not what you do for the enlightened drug use. If you're one of those wooks who like goes out,
Wooks?
Yeah, it's the people that go out to EDM festivals.
It's the wook agenda.
Dude, like it's like the Burning Man hipsters, not the cool Burning Man people that used to go to Burning Man, but like people that go out now who go to like EDM festivals that take Molly and stuff. But if you're one of those people that's like, I'm looking for enlightened drug use. Okay, what you're doing is you probably smoke pot just because you do. You probably do mushrooms, and you probably do like Like you probably might you do like LSD, but you're like I microdose LSD, like, ew. Like you're probably one of those, or DMT, you're like one of those people, or like peyote if you ever get your fucking hands on it. Good luck with that. But like you're not the people like doing meth is not usually what people say when they're doing enlightened drug use. Like that is like.
I have no idea what enlightened drug use means, so I just think about like.
It's like
a specific
all the
brand of like drug,
hippy dippy
like,
type of drugs.
Evangelist person that keeps talking about like the experiences you're missing out on, how it expands your understanding.
Yeah. You're talking about the hippies, the hippy dippy-ish people. They're like, I don't want to take drugs to like become enlightened. Meth is like meth is like I got nothing else to live for. Meth is like I gotta get shit done because I need to go like real fast. Like meth is like I'm already addicted to meth, so I'm gonna keep doing meth. I don't know why you would choose to do meth. That's one of those ones I'd just be like, nope, no thanks for that. But the other ones people try to justify with different things. But meth is usually not one of the ones they'll include in that little category of like enlightened drug use, you know?
I have had agonizingly long conversations of people trying to sell me on these things. I'm just like,
on
why
meth?
are you so
Don't talk to those people anymore.
No, everything else. When you just have somebody that's just so fixated and they're just like, they've bought in so hard that they're weirdly invested in convincing someone that they don't even know that well about like what they're missing out on or what they need to do to have like a full like life experience. And I'm just like, this is Wreck-It Ralph all over again.
Wreck-It Ralph?
The Halloween party Wreck-It Ralph guy that was so obsessed with the fact that I wasn't drinking and I'd never met him before. So you're like, why the fuck do you care so
some
much?
guy dressed like Wreck-It Ralph tried to peer pressure Keith into drinking and was like telling him, he's like, oh, like, what's your name? Like, we're good friends. Like, he was like trying to convince you that he was going to be friends with you.
One of his go-to arguments was to show that he remembered my name.
He's like, see, I remember your name,
because he was so fucking drunk. Like, he kept making a big deal about the fact that he remembers my name. Like, that was like it meant something. And I'm just like...
Me and my friend tricked him into taking shots of water at the end, and he was so drunk he didn't realize he was taking water. We were trying to help him out. But we were like, oh yeah, we're all going to take a shot, right? And like, so we just gave him water shots, and he did not even notice. That's how drunk he was. You know how drunk you have to be to not notice that you're not drinking liquor? That's pretty bad. But I was like, yeah, leave Keith alone. He's like, no, like Keith's my friend. I'm like, no, he's fucking not.
It was such a strong reminder of why I don't like parties. Just like, here we go.
But we have this very funny story now.
It wasn't worth the hours of party.
I thought it was funny.
Enlightened drug use. Flynn is fuming in his seat, and even Jenna looks perplexed.
Jeremy, where are you getting meth? Dude, are you kidding? They cook it out here. You look around you. You know where you live? Like, that's where this building,
Brian.
This building right here, you can just cook meth in there. Like, this area is prime time for meth cooking. I would assume every building in this town cooked meth.
We just have to remember that in every timeline, Brian is just looming as a threat.
I hope I'm
there.
scared of him. Like he's
really
actually
awful.
very intimidating.
It's a very fucked up character.
Yo, that's enough questions.
Yeah, like, out of respect to your situation and stuff, I thought you should know. But we ain't got anything more than that. God damn it. Flynn's face is pulled into a silent snarl, eyes clenched shut. Jenna's just frowning to herself, her phone in her lap. No one says anything for a while. I have a million questions, but I don't think they'd answer any of them. For some reason, the first thing out of my mouth is... What's an Ahoa party?
Yes, please. I want to know.
Jeremy and Micha both look at me with quizzical expressions. Something that Keith came up with.
Yeah, means like happy in Mesitan or something. Well, not exactly happy. Something more profound than that, I'm sure. Everything had a fucking deeper meaning with him, didn't it?
He's the enlightened.
He's the Wook.
Jeremy lets out a mirthless snark, the Fennec grabbing a few paper towels before taking the empanadas out and setting them on a small tray.
I just think of the ones that Taco Bell used to sell that had apple cinnamon inside.
Apple cinnamon.
You would have liked those.
Yeah. No, those are good. Yeah, but who's Keith?
How the shit do you not remember Keith?
Micha looks downright offended. He sounds familiar. I just can't put a face to the name. Well, you're in luck, Muskman. I'm not sure what he means until I see him move to pick up something sitting in one of the half-folded up camping chairs. It's a picture frame with a bunch of different pieces of handwriting on the back. To my surprise, he walks over and hands it to me. Aww.
Oh.
What's the goofy eyeball? He's got a bucket hat. Oh, this is like a sadly nice picture of a dead person.
I know. He looks very nice.
Did we ever confirm that he's dead, or just be very sure that he's dead?
Well, they said. Okay, well, earlier Heather was like Keith, and Jenna's like, hopefully not like that, implying basically like he is dead. Like, we're trying to find him because we're worried, and she's like, oh, like that, like with Keith, and we're like, and Jenna's like, hopefully not like Keith, because I think the implication is that he was missing and he was found dead.
Yeah, and before she was talking to her, seeing Keith, and everyone else was like, what the fuck? In the previous encounter, because she was talking like he still exists, or is still around, I think, and everyone's like,
or maybe he's just missing, like, and has not been found yet. But the thing is that he's the son of the lady who works at the diner. Remember?
The bus driver, is that also the lady that works at the diner?
Yeah. Wait. Maybe not. Maybe I might be confused. I thought they were the same lady, but I'm probably wrong.
Because it was the bus driver, and she disapproved of his choices. And
I just remember her being a fox, so I think that's why I thought they were the same person.
Like that, there was just shitty going things. So we know that he wasn't supported, which is probably why he's hanging out
and that
here
he's
with
gay.
these people.
But he was with Brian, wasn't he? Wasn't he like Brian's?
I don't know if we've
boyfriend?
confirmed he's been with Brian, or if we just put two and two together because Brian is the looming threat for wayward drug gays.
Well, they made it seem like we passed a building that used to be a bar.
Oh yes.
And
Brian
the bar
and Keith's whatever the
yeah,
fuck
it was
building
Brian
in
and
Route
Keith's
65.
bar, which is why I thought that they were together, because the implication
very
in Route
much
65 makes it seem like Keith was gay because of the way that his mom talked about him. I thought he was a child molester. Maybe still true. I don't know.
You're being so mean to him.
Well, I thought he was a child molester, so I was going to be mean to him.
It seems like he got... Yeah, that confirms that he was with Brian. That sign that we passed by, which at the time Leo and Chase had zero context for, so it's just like a random observation for us to put stuff together. And that's extremely bad news for him, because Brian has a personal burial location where he keeps all of everyone that he's hooked up with, basically.
Yeah, he can't just love a person normally. He's got some weird issues.
So not only are we really sure he's dead, we're really sure it was not good. It was very bad. It was not like an accident or something tragic. It was like something fucking horrible happened to this person.
Yeah, I think I could say with very high percentage of certainty that Keith is probably dead. So that's why I feel like Keith is dead.
Right, because I remember when we were in the cave, I was like, when we found the bodies, I was like, okay, I think we're gonna get some kind of confirmation that Keith's in here, because I'm primed for it because of Route 65, even though the actual Leo route had never encountered that character. But I was surprised as a result that the vision wasn't Keith. It was like a completely different species.
Yeah, it was like a little ferret.
It was like, yeah, not a fox. I have never taken a photo this good.
Well, it's because nobody drew it for you, because that's
Yes,
how you get a good
exactly.
photo. If somebody draws it for you.
In the frame, there's a pretty unelaborate picture of a stoned-looking fox guy. Does he look stoned-looking?
No, I wouldn't say so.
He looks like he plays bass guitar.
He looks like the person to be taking experimental, mind-altering drugs. So he seems chill, is what I'm trying to say. He seems like not the kind of person that would be doing meth. That's what I'm trying to say.
He's in a ratty lifeguard bucket hat and wearing an oversized hoodie with a stylized-looking eye on it. I feel like I've seen him before, but only in passing. You bring this with you everywhere? Just to the bonfires. Kind of like a super old tradition we picked up after what happened. I know it's like super culty, creepy and shit, but Keith would have thought it was neat. He was all about the whole moral support, big brother vibe. What happened to him? The question's blunt, and it seems like one hell of a sensitive topic for these guys, but now I'm genuinely curious. He went missing. One day he's here, slinging dope and playing foosball with us in that moldy shack he ran a bar out of, and next he's gone. So he had a bar.
Yeah, it was that bar.
With a foosball table.
That's cute. Moldy shack bar sounds like fun.
Nobody knew where he went? No. Next thing we knew, Micha poofed as well. The bat looks guilty, squirming in his seat. We didn't expect you to show back up either, though. Same goes to you, I guess. He looks over to Jenna. She responds with a polite smile and nothing more.
What's going on here?
No! What a character to mix in.
No!
All right. As I hear Clint's voice, I see Micha quickly sit upright, visibly startled.
There they are. Look, I told you. I didn't tell them anything.
This is too many gray names now. Heather is tugging at the weasel's tank top, but Clint quickly smacks her hand away. Clint. Are they family? No, those ears are way too different.
He's a polecat, which is different. I came up with something else, and I was like, I gotta look up what a fucking polecat is. I came up with a Western I was watching last night.
Polecat.
Polecat.
Clint looks like death. Emaciated, disheveled, teeth rotting out of his head, his fur falling out, and pink lesions dotting his flesh. Jeremy and Micha look pretty rough, but nowhere near as bad as him. I quickly hand the Fennec his picture back.
We were just leaving.
Jenna pulls her purse tight to her side and stands up.
I just want to point out, a polecat is like a ferret. I just looked up a picture.
Oh,
it looks almost
they're not
exactly
cats?
like a ferret. That doesn't make sense at all. He does not look like that. Was he the polecat? Or was it,
I don't know.
the other guy? Not Clint, but, did they say polecat just now?
Did they say?
No, I said polecat because they asked if they were related. What's the other? I can always forget his name. What's the other guy's name? The other tweaker.
Duke.
I think Duke might be a polecat.
Maybe. He's ringtail.
He's a ringtail lemur.
There we go. Ringtail cat.
Ringtail cat.
I think.
What the fuck is that? I'm looking that up too.
I had to look very carefully on the Echo wiki, and I'm like, I'm gonna scroll just low enough to get a species listing and not a is alive listing or not.
Yeah, a ringtail is a member of the raccoon family that lives in North America. So Clint is that. I want to say the other guy is the polecat because they always mention polecat, and it's the only character I can think of who would be that because everyone else is very well established what they are.
I just want to say a fuck you to every single wiki. Every wiki that prominently features whether or not characters are currently alive on their character art or in the sidebar with zero warning.
Yeah, thanks. No spoilers.
There are reasons why you'd be in the middle of it's actually impossible to do for this game because there's several timelines. But in for both Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, it's very frustrating trying to look at the wiki pages just to clarify detail that you think you remember about something so you can follow the story. And they Walking Dead's the worst one where they literally make a banner. They have a frame around the character's portrait at the top of the page that's color coded for being alive, dead, or missing.
God, that would be really.
And I'm like, fuck you. The whole page is written chronologically as oh, let's go down to here's what was happening in season 3 and so on. But then it's fucking right at the top, it just tells you whether they're alive or dead right now. And I'm like, why? Fuck you. Stop. It's unhelpful.
I mean, there has to be a way to parse that out to be
just don't do that.
Spoiler friendly. I'm sure there's a better way to do a kind of Wikipedia article for that. But
it just makes it an annoying thing where you just have to ask somebody who knows everything to very carefully curate an answer when you're trying to get to
and
get
you
straight.
watch them stand there and like phrase things, and you're like,
and half the time they'll just fuck up anyway. Like,
yeah, like when we were talking about Ozarks with your brother yesterday, I'm pretty sure I know who he was talking about, who dies. Like, I think I figured it out already. It took me like 2 seconds. I was like, oh. Yeah. And in fact, at the very, very beginning, before I even started watching that show, he mentions, like, oh, the show's good. For example, there's a character who dies you wouldn't expect them to. And he kind of says a couple things. And when I saw that character show up, I was like, I know exactly which character dies at the end of the season. It was like, it really bummed me out because I was like, I know which one it is. I figured it out in 2 seconds. I'm smart.
Yeah, it's
I'm
why
not
you
an
can't
idiot.
hint at it. It's like when I complain about the comments that are like, ooh, funny, you should say that. I'm like, I am an adult human who's media literate and has basic pattern recognition. I know what you said.
Isn't that interesting that this thing is like a detail in this? And I'm like, oh my god, fuck you. Like, you ruined it. Thank you for your hospitality. And it's good seeing you again, Jeremy. I should fucking kill you through right here, you little cunts. Get the fuck out now. Go, go, go. I'm getting my fucking gun. I'm getting it.
Clint stomps off toward the nearby trailer, swearing up a storm.
Oh shit.
Micha quickly refocuses his attention on the rest of us.
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
I half expect Flint to start shouting back, but instead I look over and he's already up. He sat down?
Yeah, but remember he specifically did not choose the princess chair. They made a point of talking about how both the boys made a very serious effort to not sit in a princess chair.
I just remember the previous thing where Flint was fine standing. Nagila's making a clicking noise and gesturing with his head toward the truck.
Like, no, Clint is okay, I swear. No, he did what he said. He was going to go get his gun. Like, no, really?
She said, Clint, it's okay.
Oh, Clint, it's okay. Oh, I thought she was saying Clint is okay. And I'm like, no. Heather, you idiot. Like,
I quickly get out of my seat and fast walk to catch up with him, and Jenna does the same.
What the hell?
It's all Jenna can say as she shakes her head in disbelief. We hop in Flynn's ride and take off without ever looking back.
Truly. What the hell?
Jenna repeats herself. She's sitting in the back seat, still peering out the rear window with a boggled expression plastered on her face. I hear ya. What a fucking mess. At least now we know they were hiding stuff about Carl. I try to shine at least some optimism on the situation, however faint that is. We came out to get information, and we did learn that there was information to be had, so not a complete wash. I don't believe for a titty fucking second that Carl's dabbling in crank. Not saying they're responsible, but they do know something.
Honestly, I don't believe they have the wherewithal to plan and successfully carry out something so malicious as a kidnapping.
Lynn lets out a long sigh, keeping the truck steady along the dirt road with one hand, while the other rubs his scaled face. That doesn't help us figure out what the fuck to do next. Where are the goddamn cops? I'm the fucking city clerk. Why am I stuck doing this shit?
You're volunteering, Flynn.
Yeah, you're literally doing it.
You also didn't tell anyone else, so...
they told the police, I think.
Oh, yeah, they reported him missing or whatever.
Yeah. There's a silence in the cabin, Jenna turning back around to peer at Flynn's rearview mirror at him.
Because you're his friend, and you care about him.
Flynn seethes at these words. It's not helping, Jenna.
I cooked him bluegill and everything. I miss him.
Where's my boyfriend?
Where's my boyfriend not boyfriend?
I pull out my phone, holding my thumb over the display button. Only 50% battery life. I'll have to remember to charge it later. Chekhov's phone charger. Should I text Leo?
No!
Text him what? That you want him to raw you again? Flynn lets out a little huff, and Jenna gives the lizard a stern look. What? I mean about what they just told us. There ain't no reason to. It's all pussy willow lies. What is the stuff that comes out of your mouth, Flynn?
Pussy willow.
I can't keep up with what he's saying.
I've heard that before, but I don't remember why. I think it's pussy willow?
After a while, he sighs, sounding defeated. Flynn reaches into his pocket, holding up his slightly antiquated-looking phone. I'll just post in the group chat a quick summary. Okay. And I'll make sure to let them know how sketchy they were being. I nod, despite the fact that no one is currently looking at me.
Oh.
Such a goofy detail.